Hello there, my name's Steve Barton. I'm the general manager with 2 Men in a Truck Moving and Storage here in Central Ohio. Just wanted to prepare you for your move that's coming up, and we understand moves are stressful, right? And our responsibility is to try and work with you to see what we can do to make that a much smoother transition, and obviously walk you through a few steps on what we can do to assist you in this transition. First, I want to thank Kathy Cairo and her team. I really appreciate the partnership that we've built, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of Transition Tuesdays. And so I want to kind of start off with a couple steps on how we would want to prepare for your move. I call this 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days. And so here are some things that I think will benefit you in the future when you look at downsizing and then also relocating all of your items. So the first part of this is the estimating process, right? We are in a funny time right now with the housing market, and we used to be booked out, and we are booked out 3 to 4 weeks. But right now what we're seeing is the contracts are so quick, and there is no such thing as a contingency, it seems. And so those we have a lot of people that are calling within 10 days of wanting to move. And so my suggestion to you is gather your estimates, call around. But one of the most important things that I can say to you about when shopping around is talk a lot about the hiring standards and what type of individuals other moving companies are going to hire and bring into your home to do the service. So, but just starting off, you want to start compiling your budget and your estimates. So get a folder prepared for that, and make sure that that's handy when you are asking those questions of these other moving companies. So medical records, anything that's sensitive. This is a time where you probably got some stuff that's in the basement that's been stored for the last 6, 7, maybe even longer years. You have a closet that might have some records in it, and then you have your main office space that has your most current records. Have a shredder available and be ready to start purging. You don't want to procrastinate. I know that some of the moves that we've experienced that aren't the best tend to be the ones that procrastinate and they forget about stuff, or they just run out of time, and then we show up and it becomes a lot more stressful than it should be. You're going to have to kind of break this down into what do you want to take with you? What do you want to sell? Maybe make some money. We have auctioneers that we've worked with before. We can recommend those, and I know Kathy and her team have recommendations for that as well. And then you also have to know, what am I going to dispose of? What am I going to, trash? And or maybe you're going to have a garage sale, and want to try and sell off some of the stuff that you have there. Plan on how you're going to move valuables. We don't want those in our possession, and I think that it's important that if you do have valuables that you have in a bedroom or in a secured space, make plans to take care of that stuff yourself, and make sure that it's secured off to the side. So some things to kind of think about: clearly labeling boxes, and make sure that you about 2 months out you want to get packing supplies. You don't want to be scrambling for packing supplies. And so if you want to purchase some packing supplies, you can always feel free to give us a call, of course. We have a couple options on how we can get those to you, or you can come into our office and we can work with you on some options for that. We got specialty boxes. One of the most popular things is nobody wants to move hanging clothes, correct? You walk into your closet and you see a bunch of clothes, and to carry all those things out in hangers would be pretty tough, and it tends to be a kind of a pain. But we have wardrobe boxes, and we'd be more than happy to discuss those with you as well, along with picture boxes, bubble wrap, and of course packing paper. And so about 2 months out, you're gathering budget, you're gathering estimates. Asking a lot of great questions from the services that you're calling upon, and then also making sure that you're kind of breaking things down into what am I taking, what am I selling, and what am I going to discard of. And so that's what we're looking at for 2 months out. So my suggestion is, once 2 weeks gets here, maybe you want to go a little sooner than that, maybe 3 weeks. Start choosing one room per night. 1 room per day. Don't get overwhelmed where you have to, look around and you're like, oh my goodness, I got, 7, 8 rooms worth of stuff that needs packed up. Do yourself a favor and pick a room per night and kind of walk yourself through like, okay, I'm gonna pack up pictures, I'm gonna pack up lamps in the bedroom tonight. That's my one goal, and start checking those things off your list. That's a great way of looking at it. And that way, if you have a little bit of a grace period there, then you're not going to be so stressed where maybe the last couple days come down to you got a few things to do here and there. If it's not something you're interested in doing, we do have a packing service that we offer, and we can work with you on an estimate on what it would take to do your whole house. Or if you're interested, we can just do a la carte kind of thing where you can say, hey, just focus on my kitchen. I really don't want to worry about that, but I can worry about the bedrooms. Not a problem. We're an hourly service, and so we can kind of work around that. In our hourly rate includes all the packing materials, so you don't have to think about like, what do I need? What does that price list look like? It is going to be a full service. Here's the hourly rate with the 2, 3, or 4 movers or packers, and we'll bring all the packing material that we need to go ahead and secure your place. But about 2 weeks out, you want to start thinking also about services that, like a water service, utilities, gas, telephone, cell phone, sewer, trash collection. These are all places that you're going to want to start gathering all of your information, contact information, and allowing them to know in 2 weeks from now, please disconnect from this address and please reconnect to this address. Plan on how you're going to transport any kind of live plants that you might have. We'll do it, but we know that that's not the safest way for us to move live plants on the back of our truck. So if that's something that you have, and then of course, any kind of corrosives or gasolines, oils, chemicals, that's something that we're not going to want to transport. First of all, we're not licensed to do so, but second of all, we don't want that stuff spilling and stinking up the couch or some of your nice furniture. We don't want to put those things together in the back of the truck where something might spill. And then of course you have your professionals, right, that you have worked with over the last several years: accountants, attorneys, doctors, financial planners, health providers. Make sure that you have their information, under control, where you have a checklist, and keep that stuff in a box safely to the side. You don't want this stuff to get mixed up with the rest of the move and the supplies that are going to be moved around in the boxes and such, right? And so also any kind of medications, anything that you have to have on a day-to-day basis, make sure you start separating that, get that in your own main box, and make sure that that's labeled properly, and then maybe leave it in your, take it in your vehicle, take it to your new place, or at least set it aside to where it's separated from the main move. And then of course we know people have pets, right? You want to make arrangements for that. It's not only stressful to you, but it's going to be stressful to your pets as well. So make arrangements with maybe a travel cage, or somebody can watch them, or maybe you have a board, where you can take your animals to have them boarded for a short period of time. But make sure you're looking out for that as well. So parking accommodations, that's something we're going to look for just to make sure that we have proper parking for our larger trucks. And then make sure you plan for meals and such, right? You're going to be in a transition where you may not have an opportunity to make your meals at your location. On either end, on the address that you're moving out of or the address you're moving into. And so think about what you're going to do to plan for meals and what you're going to do over those 72 hours of to eat. And then we're about 2 days out, right? I understand there's a little bit of anxiety, maybe a lot of anxiety, but you want to contact the moving company that you scheduled with. And you want to do a confirmation and make sure that you review everything that was discussed prior to this day. Ask them a lot of questions. They're going to also do confirmation with you as well. And notify your friends and family of a new phone number, new address. We talked about packing the essential box. Make sure that that's done. Make sure that anything that has gasoline in it, maybe a couple days out, maybe like, an example would be a lawnmower. We don't want to take the gasoline that's in that lawnmower and it happens to spill. So there's something that we can discuss. And then you want to make sure that prescriptions are filled ahead of time so you don't run out of anything like that, like we discussed earlier, where you don't have that in your essential box. Something to kind of maybe save some time and money. If this is something that you would like to kind of reduce your budget a little bit, With us, we're an hourly service, and so if boxes are moved to a centralized location, that would be a lot quicker for our guys to just grab stuff and move with it. It's okay that if it's upstairs or down in the basement, but if time is money, at least with our service, then you want to see if you can centralize that stuff maybe into a garage, some of the smaller stuff like smaller boxes, or centralize it into a downstairs living room area. We can go ahead and start grabbing and going on that stuff. Also, part of our service is to disassemble and reassemble beds, for example. But if that stuff's disassembled prior to us arriving, then we don't have to spend time on that, and we can just go ahead and grab the beds and go ahead and move those out as well. And then electronics, make sure that they're disconnected prior to us arriving. And any rooms that might have furniture that was maybe assembled inside of it, just some things to kind of think about that we might have to disassemble before we can even get it out of the room. Not a problem, but if you're looking to save a little bit on your budget, then if we can just come in, grab the stuff and go, that's a plus. If you're conscious of your budget. If not, then we are happy to do as much as you'd like. So I can't stress enough to contact your movers locally here in Central Ohio and talk to them about their training process of their movers. That's one thing that we take a lot of pride in. We're not looking for just somebody. We're looking for that person that's going to come in and communicate with you and help you gain their trust. We know that you've worked so hard for everything that you have in your home, and that's the way we train our individuals that come out to your house to do that relocation. I think the first 10 to 15 minutes of that conversation is a lot. It means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to you. And so if this is something that you're interested in working with us on, feel free to contact our office. Our phone number here is 614-224-MOVE. That's 614-224-MOVE, 6683. And we'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through. And if you have any questions, after Transition Tuesdays, feel free to reach out to me directly. My number is 614-901-1570. My extension here is 108. That's 614-901-1570, extension 108. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I really appreciate Kathy and her team and partnering with us. It's been a pleasure. So thanks, and have a great night.